I'll continue. So Lorraine and myself, Lorraine is the project coordinator for Croydon BME Forum, my equivalent at Croydon BME Forum. We are working in partnership representing the BME Forum and ARCC on behalf of our own partners on a joint venture to bring awareness of cancer screenings to the forefront. I'm sure you've seen reports or news relating to cancer affecting everybody worldwide. We're here to ensure that the Black and South Asian community of Croydon have the necessary information and support. We've been speaking with people in the local community and trying to gain an understanding of why cancer screenings amongst the Black and South Asian community are so low. I'd like to introduce this evening's speaker, Kiran and Inyat. We feel honored to have Kiran speak with us today, and Kiran is a consultant nutritionist. Kiran is passionate about helping people as a nutritionist and has worked as a co-founder of NutriFacts Life. Kiran has experience working both in the UK and Pakistan. Having gained her master's at Sheffield Hallam, Kiran has working knowledge of the NHS as well as Pakistan's healthcare system. We are lucky to have her give a talk on the importance of health and importance of nutrition and prostate cancer for the Cancer Awareness Programme, or CAP, in Croydon. To Kiran and Inyat, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Just going to share the slides soon, so please could you help us understand what exactly is prostate cancer and how can nutrition affect it? Just pass over to you. And let's share the screen. Okay, so over to you, Kiran.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hi. Thanks, Tom, for inviting me again. I'm just actually see how it going to work. Yeah, I think that would be okay. Yep. So sorry for that. So thanks, Tom, for inviting me and to talk about this important public health issue. And I'm pleased to address awareness about cancer and its risk factor. I'm Kiran Sultana, public health nutritionist, and I have been working in weight and disease management through healthy lifestyle approaches for 4 years now. So, yeah. So the outline of this presentation, we're going to talk about the prostate cancer and the role of nutrition in this disease. And the outline of our current topic includes, next slide, please. So first, we're going to talk about what is prostate cancer, what are the statistics of prostate cancer worldwide, and what is the current picture in the UK. And then we'll talk about the risk factors of prostate cancer, lifestyle, nutrition, and prostate cancer link, and what are the current recommendations for prostate cancer. And then we'll briefly talk about the Eat Well guide, and then we'll move on the conclusion. Next slide. So prostate is a gland. It's a part of a male reproductive system and about size and a shape of a walnut and grows bigger as it gets older. It is located in the pelvis underneath the bladder and surrounds the urethra. Urethra is the tube that carries urine out of the body. Main job of prostate is to help make semen, the white thick fluid that carries sperm from the testicles. Prostate cancer develops when abnormal cells start to grow and divide in an uncontrollable way. So some prostate cancer grows too slowly to cause any problem or affect how long you live. Because of this, many men with prostate cancer will never need any treatment. And prostate cancer usually develops slowly, so there may be no sign for many years. The cell can grow into surrounding tissues or organs and may spread to other areas of the body. So let's talk about some signs and symptoms of prostate cancer. Prostate cancer does not usually cause symptoms in the early stages. Most prostate cancer starts in the outer part of the prostate gland. This means that to cause any symptoms, the prostate needs to be big enough to press on the tubes that carries urine from the bladder to the penis. So in that case, when it happens, you might notice an increased need to pee or straining while you pee, a feeling that your bladder has not fully emptied. So these symptoms should not be ignored, but they do not mean that you definitely have prostate cancer, because urinary system, such a sort of difficulties happen in other condition as well. Next slide, please. So what are the statistics of prostate cancer? Let's talk about the statistics worldwide. Next slide. So prostate cancer is the second most common diagnosed cancer and fifth leading cause of cancer death among men worldwide. And estimated about 14,000 new cases and 3,75,000 deaths in 2020. Prostate cancer is most frequently diagnosed cancer in 112 countries, and the leading cause of death, cancer death in 48 countries. Next slide. So this is the current picture of prostate cancer incidence worldwide, and the dark blue color indicate the incidence among the age of 68 or above. As we can see, UK is actually in the dark blue color, so we can see how common it is. Next slide, please. So the current picture of UK is statistically talking. So 52,254 new cases of prostate cancer each year, and around 12,000 deaths from prostate cancer has been reported in the UK, from which 78% have survival rate, and prostate cancer account 27% of all new cases in the UK in male. And if I talk about the incidence, so the prostate cancer, actually, the incident rate of prostate cancer in the UK are higher in male age from 75 to 79. And the mortality rate of prostate cancer, as I have mentioned, that 70% of all cancer deaths in male and female combined in the UK are caused by prostate cancer. And survival rate is actually almost 95% of men in England diagnosed with prostate cancer, aged from 50 to 59 or 60 to 69 survive their disease for 5 years or more, compared with 2/3 of men diagnosed at age of 80 and over. So prostate cancer survival is improving and has tripled in UK for from last 40 years. Because of the PSA is testing. PSA testing is a blood test that actually calculate the amount of PSA in your blood, and it is a sign of having prostate cancer. So when diagnosed prostate cancer at early stages, almost 100% of people with prostate cancer will survive their diseases for 1 year and more, compared to those who almost like 9 in 10, like 88% of people when the disease is diagnosed in their later stages. Next slide, please. Next slide. So this is a table. Actually, I created it to show you the most common cancers among men. So the prostate cancer is the most common cancer, as we can see, it's in blue, and followed by the lung cancer. And mortality rate is higher in lung cancer, followed by prostate cancer. Next slide. So this is a survival rate. For 1 year survival, prostate cancer is like has huge numbers, and for 5 year survival also they have like 87% of people have survived in prostate cancer after diagnosis. So let's talk about the risk factor of prostate cancer now. Next slide. So yeah, this is actually another infogram which is very quite informative. As we can see, only 40% people know that being aged 50 or above increase their risk of having prostate cancer, and 83% increase the risk of prostate cancer don't know they are at the greater risk. Similarly, only 50% of UK population know having family history is another greater risk factor of prostate cancer. Next slide. Next slide. Yes, so the risk factor, the number one risk factor is age. Can you click? Yeah, thank you. So yeah, age. So as men age, their risk of getting prostate cancer goes up. It is rarely found in men younger than 40 years. Actually damaging your DNA as you are getting older. The prostate is more likely for men over the age of 55. So as age is a well-known risk factor for prostate cancer, but smoking and being overweight are more closely linked with dying from prostate cancer. The second risk factor is ethnicity. And for a reason not yet understood, prostate cancer is more common in Black men and less common in Asian population. Next, the next risk factor is family history. So, men whose father or brother were affected by prostate cancer are at slightly increased risk of themselves, like having prostate cancer in their later life. And men with family history of prostate cancer also face a higher risk of also developing this disease. Another risk factor is obesity and weight. So obesity and overweight is the second biggest preventable cause of cancer after smoking. Obese men having a body mass index of 30 or more, and being overweight means having a BMI of between 25 and 30. So being overweight or obese increase the risk of metastatic and advanced prostate cancer. Metastatic prostate cancer is a cancer that begins in the prostate and has spread to another part of your body. And the other risk factor includes being taller. So evidence shows that the taller people are during their adulthood, and the more people weight at birth, they have the higher risk of developing prostate cancer. Then the other things related to risk factor or hormones level. So research have found that people who have high sexual hormones, they have increased risk of developing prostate cancer. The other risk factor that I have want to mention is pesticides. So research has found that risk of developing prostate cancer is higher in people who are exposed to high level of pesticides. So most people only come into contact with very small amount of pesticides on food or when gardening. But those people who are exposing in a high level of pestification, so they are at risk. Geographical area, prostate cancer numbers and deaths vary around the globe, as we have seen from that picture in the statistical area. So it's higher in America and in Europe, and it's because of so many reasons: screening procedures, heredity issues, poor diet, lack of physical activity, and environmental exposures. The most important risk factor is smoking, and it's again preventable. Studies has shown prostate cancer risk may double for many heavy smokers, and smoking is also linked to higher risk of dying from prostate cancer. However, within 10 years of quitting, your risk of prostate cancer goes down to that of a non-smoker at the same age. And the last one is diet. So diet and lifestyle may affect the risk of prostate cancer. It isn't clear exactly how. Your risk may be higher if you eat more calories, animal fats, refined sugars, and not enough fruits and vegetables. A lack of physical activity is another link of these outcomes. So while we are talking about obesity, diet, and lifestyle factors. So now in my next slide, I'm going to talk about the lifestyle factor that influence prostate cancer risk. Next slide. So it includes dietary intake, obesity, smoking, and exercise. I have already talked about smoking, and exercise is just if you are experiencing sedentary lifestyle, you are not doing enough physical activity, it actually affecting your chance of having prostate cancer. Next slide, please. So obesity is reportedly associated with various cancers, including prostate cancer, and it is an independent predictor of prostate cancer. Moreover, obesity resulting from a high calorie diet causing chronic inflammation and might be involved in prostate cancer growth through immune system related mechanism. Being overweight doesn't mean that you will definitely develop cancer, but if you are overweight, you are more likely to get cancer than if you are in your healthy weight. Your exact risk will develop on lots of factors, including things that you can't change, like your genes and your age. Extra fat in your body, it doesn't just sit there. Actually, they are in an active form. They send signals from the rest of your body, and these signals can tell cells in other part of your body to divide more often, which leads to cancer. So the signals released by fat cells can affect your growth hormones and your inflammation, and cause inflammation in your body. So for the next slide, please. So to determine how obese or how overweight you are, you need to calculate your BMI. And the second most important predictor is your waist circumference. So according to NHS, the normal waist circumference should be less than 97 centimeter in men, and in female less than 80 centimeter. But for Asian population, waist circumference should be less than 90 centimeter for men and 80 centimeter for women. Next slide, please. So as I have mentioned, environmental factor affects your chance of or risk of prostate cancer. So these are some environmental factors that actually affecting your health. The advertisement, the grocery shopping, the move less, or the job that you are doing, and these kind of stuff actually affecting your health, overall health. Next slide, please. So as we have talked about obesity and overweight, so we know that obesity and overweight actually caused by the diet that you are eating. So I'm just going to talk about healthy eating and prostate cancer relationship. So prostate cancer has long been thought to be associated with food association with various nutrients such as fat and dietary patterns, such as Western diet. So it has been reported that you need to limit your intake of processed and red meat, limit fast food and other processed food high in sugar, starch, and fat, limit consumption of sugar and sweetened beverages, and encourage to eat whole grain and food rich in fibers, vegetable and fruits. And I'm going to talk about some important role of micronutrients in prostate cancer in my later slides. So next, please. So the first one is to limit your processed and red meat. So processed meat means any meat that been preserved or changed. This could be because of this could be by smoking, curling, or salting, canning, or adding preservatives. So processed meat includes bacon, ham, salami, or sausages, and it also includes processed white meat such as chicken nuggets. So processed meat actually contain a chemical when we are cooking or when we are processing these processed meat, they produce a chemical that is nitrate and nitrite. These chemical actually become cancer causing chemicals in our body when we eat them. So these chemicals may be the reason why processed meat increase the risk of cancer more than red fresh meat. In red fresh meat, it includes fresh mince and frozen beef, pork, and lamb. So it produces heme. Heme is a naturally found chemical in processed meat and red meat, and when it actually cause cell damage and cause bacteria in the body to produce harmful chemicals that increase the risk of cancer. And there is another thing, which is cooking time and method. So red meat cooked is in high temperature, like grilling or barbecue or well done, produce chemical that may promote progression of tumor cells in prostate. So this is another link. Fresh white meat, such as chicken and fish, is not. They don't have any link or increase the risk of cancer. So they are okay to eat. Next slide. So what are the recommendation of red meat and processed meat? So the government recommends that people who eat a lot of meat should cut down to 70 grams or less per day, which is about 3 slices of ham. And but less you eat, the lower your risk. So the goal is to limit consumption to no more than about 3 portions per week. 3 portion is equivalent to about 300 to 500 grams, about 12 to 18 ounces cooked meat or cook weight of the meat, and consume very little, if any, processed meat. Next slide, please. Limit fast food and other processed food that are high in sugar, fats, and starch. So limit these foods help control calorie intake and maintain healthy weight. Fast food and other processed food increase intake of excessive energy and cause weight gain and overweight and obesity. And that obesity and overweight can cause inflammation and adiposity in your body. So fast food are generally energy dense in nature. They are more convenient. They are easily to consume more frequently, and they are always available in large portion. It includes burger, French fries, cola drink, shakes, and fried chicken. And processed foods are those they have like they are high in fat, starch, and sugar, and low in macronutrients. So for example, crisps, chips, pasta, pastry, bakery items, candies, etc. So what are the recommendations for this? Next slide, please. So the goal is to limit consumption of processed food, high in fat, starch, or sugar, includes fast food, many pre-prepared dishes, snacks, bakery items, desserts, and confectionaries. Next slide, please. Limit sugar sweetening beverages. So they cause weight gain, overweight, obesity, induce satiety, and promote overconsumption of energy. Do not drink fruit juices, fresh fruit juices in large quantities. Even with no sugar, they are likely to promote weight gain in similar way to sugar sweetening beverages. And it also increase your chances of having type 2 diabetes. So another thing I want to mention about the diet drinks and diet soda, there is no consistent evidence available for artificial sweeteners like diet soda and diet drinks. So that they cause, they prevent weight gain. So we can't recommend that as well. So the recommendation for this is do not consume sugar sweetening drinks at all. So these are some limitations that we need to avoid. Now let's talk about what are the preventing risk of prostate cancer. So the first one is whole grain and fiber rich food. Next slide, please. So whole grain and whole grain products are made from the entire grain. So this is the picture of grain. You can see it has three portions, three sides. So refined processed grains are missing part of the grain. So they actually remove the bran, they actually remove the germ. So this is just the white part. Those are refined products, refined grains. So most of the nutrient and the fiber are found in these removed parts. This means that whole grain are naturally more nutritious and are higher in fiber than refined grains. So whole grain are things like, brown rice, brown pasta, oats, brown bread. And fiber is a type of carbohydrate that doesn't break down. It moves throughout our gut into the ball. Fiber is found in plant-based foods like whole grain, fruits and vegetable, pulses, including beans and lentils. It seems the fiber from the whole grain is better at reducing cancer risk than fiber from the food such as fruits and vegetables. But it's important to eat variety of high fiber food as a part of your healthy diet. You can't just focus on whole grains. You have to eat whole grain and fruits and vegetables. So the recommendation for whole grain and fiber are, next slide, please. So the goal is to eat a diet that provide at least 30 grams per day fiber and consume most meal from containing whole grain, non-starchy vegetable, fruits and pulses. So from this picture, you can see how you can switch your refined carbs with whole grain carbs. If you are eating white bread, you can switch to whole grain bread or brown bread. If you are eating white pasta, you can go for whole grain pasta. Next slide, please. So fruits and vegetables, recommendation is to emphasize the importance of consuming whole grain, non-starchy vegetables, pulses and fruits, all of which contain substantial amount of dietary fiber and variety of micronutrients. Because micronutrients is quite important for our health. Most of the macronutrients we can just get it from food only. So it's better to eat variety of food. And they are low in energy density. Fruits and vegetables should make up a big part of what you eat every day. So think about them as a star of your plate. When planning a meal, start with what veggies or salad you want to have, or aim for this to fill at least half of your bowl or plate. So see from this picture, you can see they have, the half plate filled by vegetable and fruits and half bowl filled by vegetable and fruit, and then they put rest of the things on in it. So the recommendation for this, next slide, please. Recommendation for this is to aim to eat diet high in all plant food, including at least 5 portion or serving of variety of non-starchy vegetables and fruits every day. But if you eat starchy roots and tubers as a staple or as a main meal, eat non-starchy vegetables, fruits and pulses regularly too if possible. Next slide. So as I have mentioned that I'm going to talk about some micronutrients because these micronutrients information are easily accessible on internet and anyone can get it and start applying on their self. So it's better to mention it here. Next slide, please. So the number one important macronutrient is beta carotene. Beta carotene is naturally occurring retinol, vitamin A, found in certain fruits and vegetables. Beta carotene give yellow and orange fruit and vegetable its color, and it turn into vitamin A in our body. So it can perform the same jobs in the body as vitamin A. So the source of vitamin, so beta carotene is yellow and green leafy vegetables like carrots and red pepper, fruits, mango, papaya, and apricot. So the evidence is consuming beta carotene in supplement or foods containing beta carotene is unlikely to have substantial effect on risk of prostate cancer. Next slide. Calcium. Calcium, the function of calcium is to build bones and keep your teeth healthy, regulating your muscles, contraction, including your heartbeat, and making sure blood clots normally. So the source, you all know, milk, cheese, other dairy products, green leafy vegetables, um, and the fortified cereals, fortified soy drinks, fish if you are eating with bones. So the evidence is for diet rich in calcium. The evidence suggested that an increased risk of prostate cancer is limited. So you have found a lot of papers and article on it, and it's better to see the evidence is limited. So you can't like apply it completely, but it's better to have some limits. Eat everything in a balanced way. Next slide. Vitamin E. So vitamin E acts as an antioxidant. It reports to prevent and repair DNA damage, prevent cancer cells, and improve immune system. Vitamin E source is plant oils, for example, vegetable oils, sunflower, soy oil, corn, and olive oil. Nuts and seeds also contain vitamin E, and wheat grains also contain vitamin E. So the cereals who have wheat grains, they are rich in vitamin E. So the evidence is for low level of vitamin E concentration, the evidence suggesting an increased risk of prostate cancer is limited. The last micronutrient is selenium. Selenium actually is very good for male reproductive system, and it has property of anti-inflammatory, antioxidative, protect against oxidative damage. It also involved in testosterone production, important regulator for both normal and abnormal prostate growth. And source of selenium is Brazil nuts, fish, meat, and eggs. So the evidence for low level of plasma selenium concentration, the evidence suggesting an increased risk of prostate cancer is limited. So next slide, please. So this is a slide where it's just summarizing what you need to eat and what you need to cut down as a part of your healthy diet. Next slide. Next slide, please. So this is just a superficial view of Eat Well guide, and you can see they have a quite huge portion of fish, fruits, and vegetables, then the whole grain products, then the protein includes your bean, pulses, fish, eggs, meats, and other protein, and the 5 portion of liquid, and then your dairy products. So this is a very good way to avoid all the deficiencies of micronutrients and macronutrients and avoid excessive energy intake. Next slide, please. And these are the journal recommendations from World Cancer Research Fund. As we can see, they have include the diet, the junk food limitations, the red meat limitations, everything. It evolves around us. Next slide, please. And in the conclusion, next slide, please. From many unchangeable risk factors of prostate cancer include attained height, ethnicity, age, family history. Some risk factor can be changed. Overweight and obesity is probable cause of advanced prostate cancer. By encouraging healthy eating and adopting healthy lifestyle approaches, we may reduce the risk of having prostate cancer in future. Eating a balanced diet is a suitable way to avoid deficiency or excessive eating in our life. So this is all from me. Now I'm open for question if you guys any have. These are all the references. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kiran, there. So yeah, if anyone would like to ask any questions, I'm just gonna check on the chat. Don't think we've had any yet. But yeah, either raise your hand or please let us know via chat. Okay, well, I'll kick it off. Kiran, thank you so much for your time and the preparation time as well involved in that. Yeah, the nutrients was really interesting. I was scribbling away a couple notes and missed vitamin E. So could you please tell me, A, where do we get vitamin E and what is it good for?
Vitamin E is actually the beta carotene, and you can get it from the fruits that are yellow in color, yellow and orange. So mango, papaya, and apricot. And for vegetables, you can get it from spinach, carrot, red peppers. So these are the very good source of vitamin E.
And carrots. Okay. So don't make you see in the dark. That's great. And could you elaborate? Because I know the NHS have got some things on vegan diet as well. So if anyone's vegan out there, could you recommend any sources of calcium in particular that are
Yep.
alternative to dairy?
Yeah, this is so the soya drinks that are fortified with calcium that are very important for them, and you know the fortified dairy products for vegan, they actually have fortified with calcium and other macronutrients, so they can look for that.
Right. And the same question would go for suppose vegans with iron. I think everyone would know spinach, but are there any other alternative iron resources for a vegan diet?
Yep, you can get it from beetroot and broccoli. So they are quite rich in iron. So all the green leafy vegetables, they are rich. They are actually have enough amount of iron, so you can get it from that.
Okay. So I suppose there's probably like a couple of curries as well, which would probably fit the bill with high spinach and yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, it's been really interesting. Here we go. Andrew's got one. I heard that pomegranate is really good for preventing prostate cancer. Is this true? If so, what nutritional value does it contain that makes it so effective?
So the pomegranate has vitamin A, right? And actually, it's I can say that it is just a pomegranate that is preventing your chances of having prostate cancer. It's actually your whole lifestyle, everything actually indirectly related. So you can't just focus on your pomegranate. You can take pomegranate as a good thing that you are taking fruits, but you can't just rely on that one only. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks, Andrew, for the question. That was a really good one. And yeah, I think that's really important as well. You hit the nail on the head there that it's not just about one thing, it's a whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting that you included unhealthy food products being advertised. I mean, there was a couple of products in that I've definitely seen them around London on bus shelters. Starts with an L, ends in an E, very sugary. And also you mentioned sweeteners, because again, there's been a lot of talk around sweeteners like aspartame, for example. Is there any evidence that backs up that aspartame is potentially cancerous or unhealthy?
There is no evidence related to that, but we can't recommend it in the replacement of free sugars. You can't like take in a large quantities. You have to maintain some balance in taking some diet sodas and diet beverages.
Okay, thank you. And on that note as well, similarly, there's a lot of recommendations for, I think it's agar honey, agar syrup being
Mm.
healthier. But again, there's the jury's out on that as well, right?
Yeah, they haven't mentioned any evidence related to this one as well. I'm sorry, but yeah, you can use it. You can use it in limited quantity. You can replace it with your refined sugar, but you need to limit everything. You need to take it in a balanced way.
Okay, and for the whole lifestyle as well. So Jay Patel has joined us. Jay is the chairman of Asian Resource Centre. So thank you for joining us, Jay, tonight. I know you're a busy guy. So can I ask a question in relation to how would anyone find out that they have a prostate cancer or at risk of developing it? That's a great question.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had the Man Band, we've linked up with them, which has been portable prostate checks and health checks. You can also go onto the NHS website. There's two options. There is actually also an MRI scan which is available, which you can ask for and request, which doesn't involve anything going up anywhere. It's a scan, and it can show you basically an X-ray of it. So if you go to your GP and request the MRI scan, Kiran, if you want to take over, I'm just going to quickly get the link for the NHS website on that. So yeah, there was the other question of whole grain as well. Would you mind just going over that again? Because obviously it's porridge season now, the weather's got colder. So is porridge yay, nay for prostate cancer?
Yeah, porridge oats, right? So yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's a good way to get your whole grain options. So you can take that, you can eat it because it has, as I have said, the whole grain germ has vitamin A in it. So it's a very good, it's very good for your health. And it also has a lot of fiber. So fiber will provide you, your gut, a family environment and reduce your inflammation and fat cells. So yeah, porridge is good.
Thank you very much. I'll just leave the question. I think someone's got their hand up there.
Okay, that's me. I'm Glenroy Brown. I'm a
Oh, thank you.
community enabler for a new project which we are promoting called Prostate Cancer Awareness. It is based upon a model that we have developed to create community enablers to take the message beyond the initial words that is given for encouraging and building awareness. So there's a continual program within the community. It's a community-based approach where we believe that within our communities, within our families, there are voices and intent which can be focused to encourage men to move towards this important decision. It is really so necessary to have that sort of support alongside our men to take the message further than just what we have as what is given here in this program. What I want to ask is the issue related to the use of alcohol. it is like the elephant in the room. Generally, when we speak about nutrition, we do not speak about the intake of alcohol and beers, which is so prevalent among men as an important part of the dietary contributions. And I would like to hear from you this evening, what you would like to say about that.
Yep. So the alcohol actually, cause 13 different type of cancers. And it's a very, very important factor that I have mentioned in my previous presentation. And this presentation was quite long. That's why I couldn't mention everything in it. Yeah, but alcohol definitely increase the chances of cancer, prostate cancer, because it's actually causing a inflammation. It causing your liver to work not really well. So yeah, this uh, this thing is it needs to be mentioned in every talk. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Glenroy. That was a really good point. And yeah, this session, as well as Karen's other session, will be available on the ARCC YouTube channel. And yeah, we can share that as well with Croydon BME Forum, so they can have it on their YouTube channel as well. So yeah, we've got Lorraine Chang Edwards, who is the project coordinator for BME Forum. So my equivalent over there. So she's asked Glenroy, where is this community support base? I'm not sure if you've seen that in the chat there. So yeah, feel free to answer or type away. Just leave the questions open for a little bit longer. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to launch the second poll. So we got a couple more people now, so we should see that. So it's the same questions as before. So number one is, I feel confident to recommend cancer screenings to friends and family. You've got a single choice there. Strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly agree. And number two is, cancer within my community is discussed, ... either openly, sometimes, a bit, but needs more awareness, rarely, or never. So I can see half of you have participated in that. So I'll just leave it open for a few more moments. Okay, so I'm just going to close that. Thank you very much. So as you can see, the results there, still more weight in the strongly agree for question one. And fairly even on question two, but still leaning a bit more towards openly and sometimes. So it's really interesting. Thank you very much, everyone, for that. Just a reminder, we have a couple more events for you coming up with the Cancer Awareness Program. We will have another issue of Kiran, Inyat doing nutrition, and the next one will be bowel cancer awareness talk. The data can be to be confirmed on that one. And then we have the cancer conference, Can You See Me, at St Mary's Church on Wellesley Road in Croydon on the 30th of November. That's an all-day event, so that's 9:30 to 5 p.m. And then we have on the 8th of December, we have Dr. Masood Mughal, who is a prostate cancer urology expert and a clinical research fellow at the Royal Marsden Hospital. And he'll be presenting an awareness talk on prostate cancer and why early screenings matter. So yeah, please feel free to subscribe to our mailing list for future events. Again, at ARCC Ltd, we're on social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and at Croydon BME Forum for, again, the same social media platforms there. Again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Appreciate it's a bit of a cold one outside. Kiran, thank you so much for your time. If you've got any final questions, fire away. If not, I think we will close it there. So yeah, on behalf of everyone, thank you. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Kiran. Kiran, did you have any social medias you wanted to mention quickly? Your website or
Yeah, I have a Instagram page. It's called Nutrifact Life. If anyone wants to follow it, yeah, they can do that. Nutrifact Life.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and cool. See you all again soon. Take care.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.